Alright, so the story for The Great Gatsby is set in 1920s New York and follows a character named Nick Carraway, played by Tobey Maguire, who is an aspiring bond broker who just wants to make some money. He's trying to rekindle a friendship with his cousin Daisy, played by Carey Mulligan, and her but her husband Tom, played by Joel Edgerton. And he's having a decent life. He has a small little house, nothing big, except that right next door he has a neighbor that has a huge mansion that throws parties all the time. Just many people, many different weird looking costumes and dresses just go there, just have a good old time. And he's always like, wow, that's weird, maybe I'll go to one of those parties. Until one day he actually gets personally invited by the guy Jay Gatsby, the guy that actually throws the parties, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. He actually gets personally invited, which nobody at that party ever does. People just show up. They never get invited. They just show up. And he actually gets personally invited, and he meets up with Jay Gatsby, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. I need to say it one more time because he's really good in this movie. So Nick and Gatsby start having conversations, actually starting to form a friendship, but Nick is still thinking, why the hell does Gatsby want to be my friend? And he realizes that Gatsby wants something from Nick. He wants him to go get his cousin Daisy and bring her over there, of course Carey Mulligan's character, bring her over to Gatsby, and Gatsby's gonna eat her. Oh, it just turns into a horror movie out of nowhere. No, he wants to form a relationship again, a romance, because they had a romance years ago and it just fell apart. I ain't gonna spoil it, but no more. But they actually do start to form a romance again, and of course she's married, so love triangle, bad things happen, classic literature right there, classic Shakespeare, except it's not Shakespeare, but whatever. And it is a great story, it really is. And even though Baz Luhrmann does a lot of stuff where it's just all style over substance at times, there is a lot of substance in there, and he does a good job of telling the story with some really likable characters, some very well done characters, I should say. Some of them aren't really all that likable, and I won't say which ones because it might be considered spoilers, but I'll just say there's a couple there I really didn't like. But as characters, everybody here is fantastic, especially Leonardo DiCaprio. He is amazing in this film, and he should get an Oscar nom. Maybe not win, I'm not sure. It's still, it's the middle of the year almost. But he did an amazing job at Gatsby. You really do like him. He has a sense of hospitality to his character, and even though he's a rich billionaire playboy dude, he's never like, hey, I'm the best, go away. He's always kind, nice. He does a great job with his dialogue, and people are talking in the background. But anyway, he is great in this film. He really is. And Tobey Maguire is really good in this as well. Actually, I would say he's fantastic, especially whenever he's with Gatsby, when he's with Leonardo DiCaprio, and they're actually, forming a relationship. They're actually talking to one another. I think that's the best stuff in the film, definitely. But he feels like he's just the audience. Like he's supposed to be there. Like he's the character that the audience is supposed to be, because most of the time he's just sitting back watching all this stuff happen, some of the chaotic stuff later on in the film, and I felt like his character at times could be shallow, but still he was really good in the film. Carey Mulligan was great as well, even though I would say there's times where her character got on my nerves, but that's not her fault, that's the character. I heard the character herself is always supposed to be kind of get on your nerves, it's supposed to be that the rich wife, pretty much. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but the rich bitchy type wife, and she's supposed to get on your nerves, but she did a great job here. And last but certainly not least is Joel Edgerton, who plays Tom, the husband of Carey Mulligan's character, Daisy, and he is so good in this film, almost as good as Leonardo DiCaprio, because there's a scene later on in the film where he is actually pretty much the villain. No real spoilers there, you can tell that from the trailer, and if you read the book, you already know. But he is the villain, but he's not that mustache twirling, like, woo-ha, menacing villain. He's actually somewhat likable, very realistic. He's a great villain. And there's a scene later on where Gatsby and Tom have to go and just have a disagreement, an argument, pretty much. And it is so tense. You don't know what's going to happen, because, like I said, rich people, anything can happen. Just freaking, one guy stabs a dude in the face with a bottle, he's dead, he can cover it up completely. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. But, it's so tense, it really is. It actually reminded me a lot of a Quentin Tarantino dialogue section. It was really good. Not saying this is as good as, like, Django or something, but it was really well done. And Joel Edgerton, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire, and even Carey Mulligan, they all did a great job. And the side characters, all the side actors, do a fantastic job as well. So overall, I think the acting, the story is just fantastic here. So you'd probably guess that I love this film, right? Seeing that I've been praising it. Well, the thing is that I love the acting. I have no problems with the acting. And I do love the story itself. But I didn't mention this really much in the story because I want to talk about it in its own category, and that is the style. Style over substance. I said this before, and Baz Luhrmann loves to do this, where he makes all the costumes, sets, cinematography, even special effects when he uses it, look beautiful and breathtaking and whatnot. And I like that in Moulin Rouge. I loved it in that movie, but I really didn't like it in this because I was enthralled in the story. I really was. And there's times where, oh, here's a party scene, or oh, here's a party where Gatsby's shaking people's hands in a party and stuff. And there's a lot of times where they meet characters and they don't mean much to the plot. They just go away and that's it. You never get to see them again, and they're not really all that developed. And even though I think the main four characters are either interesting or likable, I thought a lot of the side characters, while acted very good, were not very noticeable or likable or just developed at all, in my opinion. And I thought the style really just got on my nerves at times. Like, all right, come on, I want to get to the next part. All right, you're having some narration here, that's fine. It's kind of moving the story, up a little bit, but you're still just showing all these like look at New York in the 20s. I was about to say 60s, 20s. Isn't that cool? I just want to get to the next part of the story, and a lot of that part was like, oh, look at all this cool stuff. Like, all right, Boz, I get it, okay? But I still really like this film. I thought the story was great, the acting was fantastic. Even though that style was getting annoying, it did look really good, but I really just wanted to get to the next part of the story. It's a little long, and also I didn't really care for the ending too much, but I still thought it was a very well done film. I'd still give it a 31 out of a 40. I thought it was really good. Not amazing, but really good. I don't think it's as bad as some of the critics are saying. So there you go. There's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and goodbye.